three things: growing up, groceries at Winn-Dixie, crazy bread at Little Caesars, or Ashley Bryant for my grandmother. I am the founder of Bridging Strategies Collective, a housing, community, and economic development consultancy that works through an urban planner's lens. The firm pairs the credibility of lived experience in communities like Montague with the professional expertise to serve. We come from these places and we know how to build them, staying with each engagement from informing and shaping to designing and implementing where people, policy, and place intersect. I want to tell you quickly how this event came together because it matters. The people who put this event together didn't meet in a boardroom. We met across classrooms, throughout Monty Gardens, on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, out working for the community, and then there are our organizers who met as what the city means to you as a property owner, as a resident, as a lifelong resident, to both of you. So thank you again for putting this together. So here's what tonight is and what it isn't, just for the city and what inspires you to run for the city. Because primaries in Florida are local primaries, if a person was to win, if a candidate wins the 50% plus one, am I correct? Mark, they don't have to go to the general election, meaning that August 18th stands the potential to be the only election. And for context, in the 2024 election, the mayor won his vote in the primary, not at the general. And I believe it was about 16,000 votes. But in Miami Gardens, where there's over 114,000 residents, only 54,000 are registered voters. In that election, in the 2020, 54,000 are registered voters. So with that, in the 2014 election, you'll see some of these repeating over here on the screen. It'll say how our mayor, thank you for him, was elected by 11,000 seats. That's less than 10% of the population. So we wanted to make sure that we use this event to educate so that you're walking away with more data and information so that you can make a more informed decision. All right. So our job tonight is simple and it is serious. We're going to get informed, we're going to hear what the seat really does, and then we're going to ask these candidates the kind of questions that can be answered with a slogan. Questions that reveal whether someone has an actual plan for the seat or whether they just have charm. Because charm isn't a plan, a smile isn't a budget, and a slogan isn't a record. So, I want to say, charm isn't a plan, a smile isn't a budget, and a slogan isn't a record. So I just want to take the time to say thank you to all of our sponsors. This event exists because of people like you who put their name and resources behind it. Please put your hands together for our sponsors, Juice Define, Only Adonis, Cold-Face, hosting us tonight in this beautiful place, Bridging Strategies Collective, Urban Elite Strategy, the Urban League of Greater Miami, we also double as our moderator for the evening, Juice Table, and Soul Food Advisory. You know, gotta follow me with my papers, I don't want to forget anything. So here's how tonight will move. First, a quick plain English lesson on what the City Council actually does. Then you'll meet the candidates. Our moderator will I'll lay out the rules, and then I'll introduce the candidates, and then our moderator will begin with the questions. We have generated some questions posed to us in promotion of tonight's event. So they have not just come from us, but in promotion of the event, we were asking the decisions of what do you want to see. But then we doubled that down with just doing data on the city and just things that we felt like is necessary to begin to have conversations about when we're interviewing someone for this potential seat. And because this is still Miami Gardens, after we're done with that, we're going to eat, just in case you haven't already. One last thing before you start. This interview doesn't end when the lights come up. It ends on August 18th. It has the potential to end on August 18th or potentially November 3rd. So if you want to hear your voice, please make sure to show out and show up and to vote in the primaries. Early voting is currently happening until the 16th. We have a location over here at the North Dade Regional Library. Or you show out on 8/18 and show your voice. And just another piece of context, and I think I had it up there somewhere. This is supposed to be 3 seats. We have 2 seats contested. One of the seats was automatically renewed because the person was uncontested. It was the at-large seat 6. In 2022, when that person last ran, they won by 921 votes. That's less than the amount of people that go to karaoke in the garden. Just want to lay the foundation for you tonight. So just all of you showing up in the room and being able to show up at the polls makes a difference. Many people do not vote in the local elections, but we have, all politics are local. Right. If you have an issue with the lighting in your community, the trash in your community, if you have an issue with the overgrown swells in your community. I was driving down a piece of my yard, I won't point it out right now. And I was driving down one at night, and a palm tree fell down, like a palm tree fell onto the car. Wow. This is something that is a sign that it's not being well maintained. You don't like that issue? That is something that you speak to your district representative about. You don't like the quality of equipment and the parks in your neighborhood? That is something you talk to your district about, to your council member about. You do not like, okay, this is a very minor garden thing, the traffic from the stadium. That is a conversation that we bring to our elected representatives. So I'm setting the stage for tonight. I want you to keep the numbers in mind. Over 114,000 residents, but only 54,000 registered voters. And then consistently, only about 20% of people come out to the primary election. So only about 20% of your population is voting for who's in office. So if you have something to say it tonight, but say it mostly at the ballot. Mm-hmm. All right, so we are going to be introducing a member from the city of Opa-locka, Dr. Bass.
Yes, she's here. She's here.
I knew your daughter Sanika. I told y'all this is my community. So if you'd like to come on up and just give us a conversation, let us know what is it that an elected official does at the local level in their city, at the city level, in plain layman's terms. Thank you, everyone. Give us a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I was so pleased to see that I'm not the only one with paper, because I love to feel the paper, turn the paper, love to read. So paper is my thing. I don't do too much of that technical stuff.
Yes.
So that made me feel at home, being able to pull my paper out. So I'm not going to be with you long, because I know we're on this time restraint. But just let me say that I know that most times when someone hears the words Opa-locka, it's an automatic, oh my God. But I would have you to know, my city, in which I've been a resident for almost 40 years, we're much better than we were. So I'm gonna leave it as that. And yes, I've also been a part of Opa-locka's government since 2018. And you have not heard my name unless it's something positive. And it's because of some of what I'm gonna share with you today. So I'm gonna read my notes. Good evening, everyone. As you know, I am Commissioner Dr. Shirley Bass from the great city of Opa-locka. I want to begin by thanking the coordinators of this event for the opportunity to stand before you and share a few reflections and responsibilities of an elected official. In this room, we recognize the importance of public service. When council members and commissioners take on this work, we do it with the understanding that our role is not personal, it is public. Our duty is to serve the people who elected us and to listen carefully to their needs. Please always listen. The role of a public servant includes a commitment to the following, but not limited to. We represent the public interest and make decisions on behalf of our constituents. Always be mindful that every action we take has a real impact on real families. Public service requires discipline humility, and a willingness to put the community priorities first. We make laws and policies by voting on ordinance and setting the framework for the governing of our communities. This includes thoughtful considerations of how policies affect safety, quality of life, community, and long-term growth. We are responsible for allocating funds for the growth of our city. Budgeting is not just accounting. It is a way of translating community needs into measurable outcomes. Funding decisions should be reflected fairly with transparency and priority of your city, meaning right now, your city, Miami Gardens. We approve budgets, manage tax revenue with accountability. Finally, Lord, thank you. We must ensure that public resources are used responsibly, and not just used responsibly, but monitored carefully, and aligned with outcomes that benefit our residents. We assist community members with government resources. Many times, people do not need speeches. We've heard enough. We need guidance, information, and support navigating services that can help them move forward. We address local issues and gather public input, which is very important. That's why we're here. We cannot govern effectively without hearing from the people who voted us in. That means engage the community, encourage dialogue, and respond with appropriate solutions when necessary. Ultimately, public service is about trust, so important. It is about earning confidence through constant effort, ethical leadership, and a steadfast focus on progress. I am grateful to work alongside fellow leaders to serve my community that continues to grow, strengthen, and rise above the ash. Just one moment, and I will share with you just a couple of my best practices. My number one best practice as an elected official: treat others with the respect you want to receive. Treat others with the respect you want to receive. Speak with confidence and let your actions speak as well. Be a thoughtful listener. The last thing you want to do is talk to somebody, have somebody talk to you, and you're, we don't want to see that. We want to hear that, see that you're listening to us. And that's what I practice. And this one is very, very important. Only make commitments you can fulfill. Always remember the role of the majority. Important. And dress appropriately, which is super important to always dress appropriately. Because believe it or not, we are judged most times based on what we look like. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And I wish each and every one of you God's blessing on your journey, in your
Campaign.
There you go. God bless you all.
Let's give another round of applause.
Here I am.
Okay. So I'll be doing an introduction of all of the candidates that are running and which seat they're running for. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. Please adhere to the 2 minutes, and somebody has a cowbell somewhere that they'll ring in case.
Oh,
There's a
random cowbell, okay.
So we're gonna start with residential area 2. Correct me if I say your name wrong, please. For residential area 2, we have Laverne B. Deere. Yes. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And let me tell you, I am pleased, I am proud, looking around the room and seeing that it's our residents who are here. The statistic that you presented earlier about the low voters turnout is so important. I actually ran before in 2024, and I saw that. And so having the bloggers now, having the businesses and everyone getting involved, I believe that will help to tip the scale. And so my name is Laverne Deer. I'm a candidate for Miami Gardens Council seat 2, which is on the east side of the city. And when I say the east side, meaning it is from 12th Avenue, on the east side of 12th Avenue, from 183rd Street north to County Line Road south, Lake Lucerne, including Lake Lucerne, so therefore parts of 27th Avenue to County Line Road, going all the way back over to North and 2nd Avenue, extending back up to 183rd. I bring more than 20 years experience in healthcare administration, government relation, and nonprofit leadership. I take care of my elderly mom since 2017. And so what that has taught me what to do is to navigate the healthcare system that is so challenging for our seniors. And as you know, Miami Gardens have a large, especially in my district, a large senior population. I also am the founder of Female Development World Organization. I advocate to make the world the first day to teach human trafficking education in schools. So the youth safety of our community is my top priority. I also am a Florida certified contract manager. What that does is it helps me to be able to, thank you.
Thank you, Laverne Deer. So next up, running for residential area 2, please welcome Lynette Smith.
Not here.
So instead, we're gonna go move forward with Paul B. Wilson Jr. Your mic first?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Wilson, and I am asking the residents of District 2 for their permission to represent our interests on the Miami Gardens City Council. I'm a son of the city, born and raised right here in Miami-Dade, grew up right here in this area, not too far from here, with the Golden Glades Preschool right up the street off of 27th Avenue. I bring more than 25 years of educational experience, leadership experience, community experience, policy experience, and government and accountability experience, right? So being a son of this city, I've watched the maturation of this city. I remember when Joe Robbie was a field of white sand and people would dump trash on it, and I would ride on the bike, the back of dirt bikes on over there. I remember walking around 183rd Street Flea Market, prior to Karen Mart, that kind of stuff. I've watched this city grow. I've watched it mature. My wife and I decided to plant roots here. We build a house in this city. We could have went to Pembroke Pines, we could have went to Miramar, but we decided to build a house and grow our family in the same city that poured into me and that supported me as a young man. All the teachers, the coaches, the mentors all came from this area. We sent our sons to Miami Northern Senior High School, which is our zone school, right? We believe in this community. I always have, and I always will. And I will take that same passion to the Miami Gardens City Council and make sure that we are on the forefront as we move into the future of the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Running for residential area 4, please welcome Myketa Cherry Prime.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Oh, this is a dead crowd. Good evening. My name is Myketa Cherry Prime, as this lovely lady said. I grew up right in the city of Miami Gardens, as now called Miami Gardens. It used to be called Carroll City, Opelika, whichever area you lived in. I attended Murph Grove Elementary. I attended Lake Stevens Middle School. My mom sent me to American Senior High School, and then I went to the highest.
I don't know, they're talking pretty loud, so I'm not sure if you guys hear them now?
Then I moved back home, married my husband, and we have 4 handsome sons. One which is a Rattler with me. He's in his 3rd year. Hopefully he'll be graduating soon. and the other ones go to school near me. I'm a teacher at Miami Northern Senior High School, so my kids attend Norland Elementary School, because I need to be able to get to and from them, okay? I can't have anyone pick them up. And as I said, I just celebrated 15 years of marriage with my husband, but we've been together for 22. Oh yeah, that's definitely something.
Yes,
It's all good.
yes.
I'm also, my community experience started about 2013 when I became a member of the Healthy Miami Gardens, a community health organization initiative right here in the city of Miami Gardens. From there, I moved on to be a board member for the Center of Family and Child Enrichment, right on 18th Avenue and 167th Street. I've been a board member there for about 6 years. I am also the scholarship and recruitment co-chair of the Miami-Dade Family Alumni Chapter, and I have also provided scholarship and career readiness for students throughout Miami-Dade with various organizations, whether it was Divine Nine and nonprofit organizations. I'm running for Miami Gardens City Council because I like to serve. I am sick and tired of people having to call me to ask me, well, Marquita, what can you do? Can you call this person? Can you do this? I feel like everybody should be able to call for themselves. And so that's what kind of led me to run. This is not my first time running. The first time I ran, I was fed up. The second time I ran, I was fed up even more. This third time, I'm even more fed up. So the fight is real. Thank you.
I'll stay over here in case anybody knows. Running for residential area 4, please welcome Rod Back. Yes, Rod.
I'll start with time. You got the mic. Can you hear me?
No,
You guys hear me?
the mic not working.
No.
Yeah, the mic is not working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Before I get started, I first want to say I want everybody to recognize that all of these candidates to be here today put a lot of hours in for the last 2 days. We've been out in the sun. And so just to see everyone here, we may not agree on a lot of things, but I cannot deny that everyone's put in a tremendous amount of work on the last couple of days just to be here. So I just wanted to let everyone know that and just commend everyone for being here. Again, my name is Rod Mack. I'm from this community. I was born and raised here. I went to Myrtle Grove Elementary School. I went to Parkway and Lake Stevens Middle School. I graduated from Pace High School. I went on to the University of Miami where I was a football player there, All-American, and they go a fellow Canes. We did let's do the Canes too as well. I was a finance, and I double majored in finance and business management at the University of Miami. I graduated from there. I worked on Wall Street for a while. I came back home here and decided to start a program, a football program here in the community, because it wasn't one here in the area in which I grew up in, which is right here in the Myrtle Grove area. So I started a football program here, and I've had the privilege of impacting thousands of lives to this point. A lot of my kids have gone on to do great things on and off the football field. From there, what made me want to get involved in this election, get involved in politics in this issue, is because I've been involved with parents and grandparents and dealing with our youth for so long, had opportunity to see what this community needs. And also my experience around the world, I've had opportunities to live in other places, in other states, and I know what our community needs, and I want to bring those things back home. I want to support our seniors. I want to find more opportunities for our young people. I want to find better opportunities and strengthen our family structure here in our hometown. Make it safe neighborhoods for us to live in. So those things have impacted me and made me want to get involved and just to give back to this community, which has given me so much. Like Paul said, from my coaches and mentors and everyone that's poured so much into me, it just makes me want to give back to this community, which I love so much. My experience in finance, my experience in business is what this community needs now. It was at a time that the city needed other avenues of people that come from different backgrounds, but now we're in a position that the city has to take the next step. And I think my experience in finance and business is what this city needs. I'm a business owner. I've worked on Wall Street. I know budgeting. I know economics. And so I think we're at the point in our community that we need that experience, and I can bring that to the city. Thank you.
And last but not least, running for residential area 4, please welcome Angela Maria Winter.
I'm going to tell you, good evening to everyone, but I'm super tired. But I just want to say, I am Angela Winter, and I'm here running, not because I want to run, it's because there are needs in the city of Miami Garden that I want to fulfill for the resident. So I'm one of them. I'm an immigrant. I'm from Jamaica. I am the first daughter. I have 3 kids, 3 young grown people, mother, grandmother of 4, and I'm just me. I have a degree in building construction. I just received my degree in teaching. I teach at Miami Lakes Tech. I've been in the school system since 2014. So I'm here, and I make a lot of this difference in the community. I serve on a lot of different boards, and I have a lot of different stuff to bring to the city of Miami Garden. Right now, I have to deal with my mom dealing with situation with Social Security and Medicaid. So here I am asking for help, getting informed to help the community, just to help, because I'm going through this now. I am a very passionate person, and I will go all out. When I mean all out, I'm a business owner for over 35 years, a small business, and bring up a lot of young girls. So when they go away to college, they can make their own money. Because you don't have to call to say, Mommy, I need money. I teach girls how to make their own money. I give them a trade. I'm a stylist for over 35 years. I started when I just came from Jamaica when I was 19 years old. Thank you. Woo!
All right, let's give all of our candidates a round of applause. Before we go into the questions and I introduce our moderator, I just want to do something really quick. But I need all of the crowd to participate, okay? If you are a Miami Gardens resident, raise your hand. We have the actual people here, not the representatives. If you are a Miami Gardens business owner, raise your hand. If you work within the district, raise your hand. I just wanted to point this out to the candidates so that you knew who you were speaking to today. If you have relatives that live here, raise your hand. So, you're not just speaking to this room will go out and do what the telephone game does. We will go and spread the message of what we're hearing here. I'm gonna say pull out your phones or your notepads, however you take your notes. Write down your information, because what did I say earlier? This is a community interview. I'm gonna say it again. This is a community interview. All right, now you are the hiring squad. And don't feel, I need you not to walk in with empathy for me. Okay? I know the job market is tight, but this is a bit, these jobs require a certain particular skill set. So be fair, clear, and remember the charm is not a plan, okay? Yeah. All right. So, for this next part, we are in exceptional hands. Our moderator tonight is Dr. Makeda, thank you, I'm so sorry. Johnson, President and CEO of the Urban League of Greater Miami. Dr. Johnson made history. She is the first woman to lead this affiliate in its 80-year history, stepping into a role held for 6 decades by the legendary T. Willa Fair. Her mission is clear: to restore this organization's visibility and expand its impact on education, housing, and economic empowerment. The very things the council teaches. There is no one better to hold tonight's conversation to a standard. Dr. Johnson, the floor is almost yours. I'm gonna go over some quick rules that we put together as a team to make sure that you know we are all respectful of all of the candidates. First and foremost, respect all candidates and speakers. No shouting or disruptions. Do not interrupt while others are speaking. You know, this sounds like classroom rooms out there. I think we don't submit questions through designated process. So remember what I was saying, get your post-it, put it on the back wall. The reason why we're asking that is because I want to pull from those a little bit later. No campaign signs or chants during this forum. We know that there's certain representation that has a larger group. No shouting out to people. And then help maintain a respectful education environment. Dr. Johnson, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. As she said, my name is Dr. Makeda Johnson. I am the newly appointed, well, I don't guess I'm not new. I'm coming up on a year now. President and CEO of the Urban League of Greater Miami. I
I am happy to be in Miami. I've been here for the last year. You guys have been a very welcoming community to both myself and my family. So let's get it done.
Yes.
All right, so the first question, and this question will be asked to every candidate. So I will ask it once. If you need me to repeat the question, I'll be more than happy to do so. Candidate Wilson, we'll start with you. Miami Gardens residents often absorb the traffic, safety, and quality of life impacts of major events, including blocked sidewalks and street barriers during events such as FIFA. Were you aware of these concerns? And if so, what have you done as a resident to address them? If elected, what specific actions would you take to ensure sidewalks remain safe and accessible during future major events?
So as a resident of Coconut Cay, off of 441, I experienced that traffic myself. That's a major thoroughfare, and the only way to get out of our community is by touching 441. And during that time, it took anywhere between 25, 35 minutes to go from 207th Street to 199th to get to wherever it is that you were trying to go. So yes, very clear about those concerns. Saw the gates that were put up across 199th Street, saw the barricades that were placed on the sidewalks, limiting access for individuals with disabilities, limiting bus stop access for certain people, limiting the sidewalk just for people that use the sidewalk. All of those things are extremely concerning to the residents of not only District 2, but of Miami Gardens, right? And in my experience as an educator, I ran school operations, I ran emergency preparedness in the Department of Safety for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I was in charge of safety for over 400 schools, so when I see those types of things, I look at it from a risk management point of view. All of that can be solved with simply coordination, better coordination with the Florida Department of Transportation, better coordinated with the law enforcement municipalities that are brought in. Unfortunately, they're not all Miami Gardens cops, so they don't understand what that local pass means. They don't understand that this resident is not a part of FIFA. They're not coming to F1, they're trying to get home, or they're trying to get to work. So having that better coordination with resident input up front is extremely critical. Clear in traffic patterns, right? This is where the traffic is gonna flow. This is gonna be the alternate route for the trolley for individuals that depend on that to get to different places. This is how we're gonna do this, and ample notice for neighbors, right? Not you hearing about it a couple of weeks before, after the pattern has been completed.
Candidate Dale, 2 minutes? 90 seconds. Or is it 60 seconds? 90.
Okay, yes, I was aware of the issue.
Mike's not on.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I am aware of the issue and the ADA compliance. I was actually paying attention to the live through Miami Gardens Now every day doing the live stream. And I can tell you, I pay attention to the residents through the Ring camera. There is a neighborhood communication, and so I was a part of that. I heard residents complaining that we've been waiting for 2 hours. And so one of the things that I actually have done, I've wrote to the city council member, Reggie Leon, expressing some of those very same concerns, because residents were having an emergency, especially during the FIFA, where their houses were being, their alarm went off and there was no way to get in. Being aware of that, I started inquiring about the road that is supposed to be cut out in the Lake Lucerne community. And as of right now, I don't know if there's any Lake Lucerne residents, but I was told that in 2027, that road construction should be cleared where a resident would be able to go through. So that will alleviate some of the traffic from 27th Avenue and 207 to 22nd within the Lake Lucerne community. Better organization with the organizers. I plan major events, and I can tell you that one of the things that you have to do is sit with the organizers before the event to plan. Have residents at the table.
Thank you.
So first, as I think you said the question.
Miami Gardens residents often absorb the traffic, safety, and quality
I
of
just
life.
want to make sure you said what you do as a resident. So to answer the question, as a resident, what did I do? I'm here and I'm doing this. So I can say what I want to do as a resident is to represent you guys and speak for us, as just everyone else. I've experienced the heartache or the headaches, I should say, of traffic. There is no simple solution. There is no one solution to fix our traffic situation. However, what has to happen is, number one, is I believe that we need to get better transportation to the stadium, mass transportation to the stadium, so we can keep cars out of the city. The only thing that's going to solve is keeping cars out of the city. Whether that be we get an off-site parking location, and that we now have mass transportation to bring people into the city. A long-term goal of this is we have to get rail to Hard Rock Stadium. So we have to get rail to Hard Rock Stadium in this north corridor. We got to get a rail system, and again, I can tell you how difficult that will be. That is not an easy task. I want to, someone said, do not make guarantees that I cannot keep. I know that won't happen all on my watch, but the conversation has to start somewhere. We got that push has to start somewhere. That push will start with me. Getting rail to the stadium, that would alleviate a lot of our issues, because that way people can come from this north corridor. We can get travel coming from Palm Beach, coming from Miami, and that would alleviate cars coming into the city. The only sure solution is to get cars from entering our city. And the less amount of cars we can get to enter our city would alleviate the traffic. That is the only solution. Everything else is just putting a Band-Aid on the wound and will not solve it. So that's what I would do. I would get involved, obviously, with the Hard Rock, communicate with them. I would ask them to try to put dollars to lobby for that, because they benefit from that as well.
So what I have done as a resident, I have met with two of the at-large council persons and spoke to them and complained before they came out with the residence pass. Because for whatever reason, I'm in the south, I'm in the south area, so it doesn't affect me as bad as it does my neighbors and my friends and my students and my coworkers and my colleagues, but it still is an issue. So I met with Councilman Robert Stevens a couple of years ago and complained about, well, what are we gonna do for the residents? Because the only person that's gonna solve our problems are us. You know, let's be honest. And he told me, well, we coming out with a residence pass, and they came out with it, and it didn't really quite work. You get that residence pass, you get in LA, and you're still being told you can't turn left. So I told him, I said, well, we need to figure out, what can we do? He said, okay, we're gonna come out with a resident pass and a resident lane. And that's still issues, and it's still not working. So I told him, I said, we need to come back and workshop that, but I also said, we need to come up with alternative roads. I'm a back street girl, okay? I'm not standing on the main street or on the main road for anything. I will dodge and weave. And I told him, I said, is that something that we can come up with? He said, yes, but at the same time, we're gonna have to take some time to figure it out, because we want people to stay on the main roads, people want to sit. I'm like, Miami Gardens is a really, really good city to live in a safe place. So I just feel like we need to come up and have our different conversations as residents and take it to the city, because let's be honest, we know more than they do. We do, because we're out in the community, we're talking to more, we're at the churches, we're at the schools, and we hear a lot of the concerns first. So we can come up and resolve some of the issues ourselves and then take it to them, because they may not have the answers, and we may have the answers more than they do. So that is what I recommend.
Thank you.
Did you want to?
Yes. As someone that directly drove to see the sidewalk, it was nice, because I was looking at a resident trying to catch a bus, and there was no way for her to stand there to catch a bus because the traffic is going back and forth. So I felt like the council members need to listen to the residents, because we need a one-on-one talk with the residents so we can come up with a solution to not let this happen no more. Because we cannot do it by ourselves, honestly. And because we are not listening enough, that's why things are happening how it happened, even with the traffic situation. Because even though I live down this way, it takes a good 45 minutes. And the traffic is not that bad this way, but it still takes 45 minutes just to go through the community. I do take back roads, but it's still do not work because of the traffic lights, and the traffic lights come all the way to 151st on 27th Avenue. So I will sit and listen to the resident to make sure we come up with a good idea.
Thank you.
So the next question, and we'll start with you, candidate Deere. During Formula One and other major events, much of the economic benefit generated may leave the community. If elected, would you support reopening discussions with Formula One and the Hard Rock Stadium to secure benefits beyond the current $5 million over 10 years? And what additional investments or community benefits would you seek for Miami Gardens residents?
That's a very good question, and I can tell you, an item came up at the last council meeting, 11.3, and I went up and I spoke. I spoke on it. I thought it was a very good item, but I asked for it to be amended to include revenue sharing from ticket sales, because the event is inconveniencing the residents, and we are the one who have to deal with all of that headache. And so we can now work with the stadium, negotiate, because I understand that they're still in negotiation for that extended contract, that it has not been finalized yet. And so I would want to include in that negotiation, if when August 18, I would like to sit with the stadium and negotiate with them to have profit sharing, revenue sharing from ticket sales. That now can help with small businesses, it can help with seniors, and it can even help with some of our other issues that we're having in the community. And so, you know, a lot of times, first of all, the stadium is one of our largest revenue through tax businesses. And so we want to also respect what they bring to the table. But we also know that Formula One is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And so when you're negotiating, you want to understand that this is not chump change that you're asking for, that they can do it. Thank you.
I'm trying to get this in really quickly. So first, like everyone else, I have to say, we can negotiate with Formula One or Hard Rock about things that they can give us. I would look for more educational things for our young people, exposure for some of the other people in our communities, jobs, better paying opportunities for us to be involved in that way. But I look bigger and deeper than that. So for myself, it's getting involved and we really get infrastructure in our city so we can capture those dollars. We're having too many dollars that leave this city, and just asking Hard Rock for money is not going to fix it. We need to have them, if we want to negotiate, to help us develop more infrastructure, that we can get more restaurants and more hotels in the city, so those dollars can stay in the city. That is our issue. I have no problem with us having all of the major events that bring national international spotlight on our city, which are all great things. But what's happening is those dollars come in our community, drive and leave right back out. We need more restaurants, we need more hotels here, hospitality in this community. And that's what we should be. That's what we should be asking for. That's what we should be fighting for. So that when those dollars sleep in the city, those dollars stay in the city. So when those things come in, they don't wind up on South Beach or Linwood and those dollars in that area. Anything outside of that, we're cheating ourselves. We're asking for crumbs off of a very, very, very large plate.
I'm gonna agree with you. Because I believe that there is so much money coming into the city. First, as a small business owner, we don't get no kickback. Because I'm gonna use the word kickback, because we need tax break too, even with the residents. Because I feel like all this money and the homeowner, the tax, we have our house, we don't even get a $500 tax break. And I feel like the resident need the tax break from our city because we are bringing in the money. Even with hotels, yes, we need a lot of hotels. I don't like to go out of my community and eat. So I love to eat in my community. Make good restaurants that we can fine and dine here in our city. Bring more work, yes, and make sure we can have hotels that when they still will make money if we put the hotel here, because the stadium will keep going and going, and a lot of people come in and they want somewhere to stay. Do they want to stay out of the city? No, they want to stay here so they can Uber back and forth. So I think personally, we need to get more money and we need to sit at the table and let us get some money back from the stadium and all the events they have at the stadium.
So I think that's something that we also need to speak about. The stadium gives or allocates funds for each council person to spend, okay, per year. And each council person has a budget that they use to do, whether it's programming in the city, whether it's home renovations or after-school programs for students, or if it's a summer giveaway, if they're doing some college essentials. There are money that the residents, the council people do receive from Formula One and from the stadium. So if there are dollars that were already allocated, then that's definitely another conversation and negotiation that we can take back to the table, because if they're already giving dollars, even if you say it's crumbs, that means that there's more for them to give. Am I right? Yes. And then of course, you also want to talk about now, there are some things in place. There are some hotels that are supposed to be coming to Miami Gardens. As you all know, we have our entertainment district over there by the stadium on 199 to about 183rd Street. That is our entertainment district. If you guys notice, there are a lot of restaurants and great businesses that we already have in the city of Miami Gardens. We may want to do something like a small business hub, take those dollars and use it for that, so that the small businesses in Miami Gardens can not only be highlighted or shine, but we can bring dollars to them. A small business grant, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to highlight the local heroes, which are small businesses in our community. Like this one we're in right here, CoSpace. You've done an amazing job with this. You moved it forward. I mean, come on, let's talk about it. So that's what I'm thinking about. It's all about conversations. But most important, I definitely want to do a feasibility study and have conversations about it. We want to make sure it's something we can do. Thank you.
So the question again was, during Formula One and other major events, much of the economic benefit generated may leave the community. If elected, would you support reopening discussions with Formula One in the Hard Rock Stadium to secure benefits beyond the current $5 million over 10 years? And what additional investments or community benefits would you seek for Miami Gardens residents?
And so, for a number of years, I served as one of the chief negotiators for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. We negotiated the labor contracts with UTD, with AFSCME, with FOP, with DESMIC, with BCSAA. And one thing I learned in that experience is the perfect negotiation is when both sides are equally unhappy. Not equally happy, equally unhappy. And I think as the mayor and the city manager are the formal negotiators for the city, right? We as city council members, future city council members, God willing, we will be able to influence those negotiations, right? We'll be able to bring those issues from our particular districts, from Miami Gardens as a whole, and say, listen, these are the non-negotiables that need to happen. We're talking about $5 million a year. They make $5 million every football game. 4 times, right? 4 or 5 times. So I'm not gonna call it, say it's not an investment in the city. Absolutely. Should it be more? Absolutely. And I think we are in a position of power as a city to dictate some of these things and demand some of these things. As Dr. Deere said, we're attracting international events. Formula One is arguably the most expensive sport in the world. They don't have Coca-Cola and Pepsi as sponsors. They have Audemars Piguet and Rolls-Royce as sponsors. So if we're bringing that here, we need a piece of that pie.
Yes.
So we are now moving on to round 2. And with round 2, which deals with leadership, accountability, and civic experience, you will have 60 seconds to answer these questions. We are gonna start with candidate Mack. Listen, y'all, when I sat here, the candidates was like, listen, we've been out all night. They said, Doc, we gotta get out of here. Because in their defense, they're all leaving here to get back out there, right? So I wanna be respectful of their time, and I'm gonna get this train back on the track, okay? So starting with you, candidate Mack. Looking at the tenure of the previous council member, what would you do differently to better serve the residents of C2 or C4?
I think I would dialogue better with our residents, make myself more accessible, open myself up to more communication with the residents, be a better leader in that way with the residents in our community.
Obviously, I'll change some of the way, I think our candidate did a great job with the Meet Me Mondays. However, I will expand that to different parts of my district, and I will change some of the days from just being on Mondays to sometimes on the weekend. So those things that I would implement within our community, inside of my district, would be right off the top of my head, the things that I would do differently. I don't want to, I'm not going to ask my wife to marry me by telling her how bad the other men were, so I just want to kind of speak on what I would do great in the community, but that's my answer.
Thank you. Candidate Winter?
I will make sure we have a lot of town hall meetings. So, and not just me talking, but I want the community to speak on what's going on in the community so we can have a conversation. So town hall meeting, we need more of that. And we do not have too much of, I can't even remember we have a town hall meeting, but town hall meeting will help to get to know the community one-on-one, get to know the resident one-on-one with the council member. So I will really start at least with town hall meetings.
Thank you.
So I believe that the councilwoman or Commissioner Bass said it the best. This is not personal, it's public, right? So not only will I make sure that I'm accessible for the residents, but it's something that I'm gonna be doing after August 18th, and it's called door to door. Well, I'm gonna still come out and be at the residents' door and talk to them and meet their concerns. Not every resident can come to the town hall, not every resident is gonna come to city council. However, even if I have town halls, even if we have city council meetings, I still wanna knock on their door. And I also wanna make sure that I have a virtual component, so whenever I have my town halls, they can go to whatever YouTube channel, or go to my Facebook Live, or my Facebook Live, or my Instagram, or my Twitter, and they'll be able to access, rewind, play back, see what I said, hold me accountable. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. That's gonna be the difference between me and the current or former council person. Thank you.
Thank you.
For me, I think, Councilman Leon has done a good job of laying a great foundation in District 2. When you look at the parks in District 2, he was able to complete all of those parks, all the renovations of those parks within his first year in the term. So he's done a great job at that. For me, I think it's more about listening, right? Listening with the intent to understand as opposed to listening with the intent to respond. I was a school teacher for the big part of my career. I was a school principal for another part of my career. And one of the things that I learned is having room in your own personal perspective to be wrong is the best weapon that you can have, because understanding what someone else is going through, being able to empathize with someone else's situation, puts you in the proper perspective to push your feelings aside and make the right decision in the best interest of the people that you represent.
Thank you.
For me, it would be to continue going to the Community Crime Watch meetings. Continue to support the residents, going, meeting them halfway. But one of the other things that I would like to do is to create a community advisory council within my district, to where I can have businesses at a round table. I can have a round table in my office. I can have businesses that can come, residents can come, and this way now I can explain to them what are some of the services that the city offers that they can tap into, because a lot of times the residents don't know the different agencies within the city that can provide services to them. Not only just within the city of Miami Gardens, but also within Miami-Dade County, because they are extension of services that we can get from Miami-Dade County. And so one of the most important things that I would want to do is to create that community advisory council. But second of all, continue to go to the residents, like going to these community meetings that I have been going to now, and I'm asking for their vote. I'm not just asking for your vote, but I will be coming back. And whether I win or not, I will be going back as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Candidate Mack, did you answer this question?
I started.
Who's the first one?
I mean,
I left some stuff out, so I got
Candidate Winter, we'll start with you with the next question. How will you remain accessible and accountable to residents? What specific commitments can you make regarding community meetings, communication, responding to constituent concerns, and publicly reporting your progress?
Okay, I knock on doors every day. without knocking on doors, I show up. So because I show up for the resident, I give out my number. So everybody have my number. And I always tell people my number. So they have a one-on-one with me. I'm not scared to reach out if, say it's a fire around the corner. I'm always telling them, I'm 2 minutes away. So I will show up. And I always say, if you think I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, hold me accountable. Because as a business owner for over 35 years, I always show up for my clients. So if I always show up for my clients, I'm gonna show up for the community. So I'm asking the resident to hold me accountable for everything I do.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'm a public servant by trade. I'm a teacher, so I'm accessible already because I have to deal with parents and their children and my staff and administration. So I'm accessible. What I'm going to do, as I stated, not this forum, but one before, I'm going to have multiple town halls. When I'm knocking on doors, the south side says this is an issue, and the north side said, and the east and west. So I'm going to make sure that I'm accessible with town halls. I'm also going to have open, certain days of the week, I'm going to have open office hours where they can just come and talk to me. I'm also going to have a phone. I'm also going to have an email address. I'm going to be accessible. I get stopped now when I'm at Walmart or Winn-Dixie or the gas station or the grocery store or at churches, and again, it's not something to take personal. This is public. When we all signed up to do this, we knew what it entails, so we know that we're going to take sometimes where residents may be disgruntled or may be upset. It's nothing to take personal, because I would feel the same way if I had an issue when I've been calling and frustrated about it. So I'm going to make sure that I'm accessible to the residents, no matter what, no matter what's going on, because again, we signed up for this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I firmly believe that accessibility has to be intentional. Like, you have to be intentional about making yourself accessible. And so, as Makita just said, as a public employee, my entire career has been transparent. It has been an open book. It has all dealt with public dollars and public trust. People would drop their children off to me at 7:30 in the morning, and I would be their parent for 8 hours, right? So there's a certain level of trust that you have to be able to create and hold individuals accountable. My 20-year-old and my 16-year-old son are standing over there, and they'll tell you, I am the accountability king, from making your bed in the morning to filling up your tank when it gets halfway, not quarter, halfway, right? So I employ the residents of District 2 to hold me accountable. You better call me out, right? You better tell me when I'm not representing you and doing what you put me up there to do. I want you to do that. That's the only way I'll get better.
Thank you.
How will you remain accessible and accountable to residents? What specific commitments can you make regarding community meetings, communication, responding to constituent concerns, and publicly reporting your progress?
So email marketing is how I will publicly report my progress, right? Communication. But I can tell you, we have a multicultural, diverse community, especially in my district, from Caribbean, Haitian, Jamaican, African American, and even now, as I walk the district, I also see that we have a large Jewish population. And so one of the areas or complaints that I get is when information goes out, it goes out at the last minute. And then for the ones who don't read or understand English, it doesn't come out in the language that we can understand. And so those are the things that, as when I get in office, God's willing, I will do my assessment based on the demographic of where individuals live, the language spoken, and ensure that my communication includes all the language that when they get it, they can read it and they can understand it.
Thank you.
Again, I'm gonna try to get a lot into these 90 seconds. So I think everybody answered a lot of the same things I would say about putting away, I make myself accessible from, involvement on the internet or town hall meetings or office hours, all those things are great solutions, and I will put all of us, I'll implement them in what I'm doing as well. But the main thing I would do is, I'm gonna make myself accountable by the way I run this race. I'm not gonna take dollars from people who will pay for my campaign in a way that I can't answer to the residents. I'm not gonna have people involved, that pay for my campaign or sponsor my campaign that I can't speak for myself. So the main thing we do to make sure I can be accountable to the residents is make sure I'm gonna be my own man and where I run this race, and make myself that I can answer, and I can make votes, so I can do things based on what the community wants. And what's best for the community, be an advocate for the community instead of being an advocate for someone because they funded my campaign.
Candidate Cherry Prime. Many longtime Miami Gardens homeowners are aging, and when they pass away, their heirs may inherit the property along with major responsibilities involving probate, title issues, property taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, and code compliance. How do you plan to assist legacy homeowners in preparing for the transfer of their property and help their heirs keep these homes in the family? Please identify at least 2 specific programs, partnerships, or policies that you would support to preserve home ownership and generational wealth in Miami Gardens.
That's a good question. So 2 things. We have a purchase program in the city of Miami Gardens right now where the floor to purchase a home is $367,000. You can't buy a house in Miami Gardens for that price. So that's definitely something that I would support. And then I will also make sure that I bring in different organizations that will help homeowners stay in their home. There are a lot of seniors that are aging out, or they're calling aging out or not able to age in place because of inflation and code and things of that nature. I'm going to be workshopping a lot of stuff. As a teacher, I'm a certified teacher. My license is accurate and good. I have never defaulted in my application or in my license. My license has been good since I started teaching. Okay, so one thing that I will make sure that I do is when the people that I bring to the table, they will be the ones that will make sure that the people will be able to stay in their homes. So that's one thing that I would want to do. And I just want to make sure that it's clear. There are a lot of things that are being said about me, but you see who my supporter is here, my husband. So I thank God for my husband that is here, and all of the information is public information and public record. So you can always look it up and go see it. I never have to talk about anybody. I always focus on my campaign. Thank you.
Candidate Wilson? No, I can't, I absolutely cannot. Many longtime Miami Gardens homeowners are aging, and when they pass away, their heirs may inherit the property along with major responsibilities involving probate, title issues, property taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, and code compliance. How do you plan to assist legacy homeowners in preparing for the transfer of their property and help their heirs keep those homes in the family? Also, please identify at least 2 specific programs, partnerships, or policies that you would support to preserve home ownership and generational wealth here in Miami Gardens.
Yeah, so it's important to be able to pass that property down, right? When Big Mama passed away, and she passed that property down, and unfortunately, a lot of us, we look at the short term, right? So we want to sell it, get the money, split the money up, whatever it is, right? But she passed that house down because she wanted to create that generational wealth. She wanted you to take that property, turn it into a revenue stream, another stream of income for you and your family. So I think education is the key to that, right? Making sure that you provide opportunities for those legacy homeowners to understand what the process is. Do I need to put this house into a trust, right? How do I prevent this from going into probate for my family to have to fight the state over? So that piece of education. Another thing that's important is making sure that there's a lot of renters here, right? First-time home buying programs are important for a city to continue to have a heartbeat, right? Again, education, helping those renters make that transition into being homeowners, giving them the education that they need to understand what FHA is and those types of things. Education.
And so one of the first things that I would want to do is have workshops and invite our realtors and property appraisers to come in and educate our residents. Because a lot of times they don't understand. I myself, taking care of my elderly mom, and as she got sick, one of the first things that I had to do is contact an attorney to first understand in or put together a power of attorney. And then, of course, got a trust, met with the bank, got a trust. So start learning all those different steps. And us as, African Americans, Caribbeans, we don't oftentimes think about that. We don't think about wills, writing wills. Those are also important. And so educating the community, having workshop, working with the Realtor Association, bringing in the property appraiser, because they can answer a lot of these questions that you may not think about. Because generational wealth is important. A lot of Miami Gardens residents have been here 30, 40 years, and a lot of the kids are moving away. We want them to come back. And so once they understand that steps, then they will want to stay.
I think first of all, education, as I said, it's education with some of our seniors in the community. However, we have as much education as we would like, but we don't make our seniors comfortable with giving them that information. It doesn't matter. So finding a comfortable, familiar face to educate our seniors on the estate plan. I understand the importance of it. I'm a multiple homeowner, property owner, all throughout South Florida and other places. So I understand the importance of that. And also to helping to bring in, we got to talk more about the life insurance aspect of that, because this is not saying we passing the home. A lot of times, our family members are not losing homes because they would not like to retain them. It's because they can't afford the state tax bill that comes along with that, or the debt that is incurred once that family member passes away. It's all a lot about wills and trusts, but really understanding how that works still means there is a tax liability attached to that. And so we're not talking about life insurance, we're also involving ourselves that we still can't keep that property. So that also has to be something we bring into the education form of as that goes. There's also the Sadowski Act that I would like to talk about that finds dollars that help affordable homes within the community. And we'll talk more about that later.
Because I understand about, I lost my husband. So when we had our home, is a good thing. And I'm gonna tell you, we don't talk with one another. It's a big thing, because you have to talk, you have to let the person and your parents and your husband, your spouse, that listen, we need to do this with this property. Make sure your name is on the deed. A lot of us, we do not talk in our household. So because of that, we lose our house, because after the person passed, guess what? There's nobody's name is on this house. So, and then it go in foreclosure, it go in rebate and all that stuff. So I want to educate everyone, because I've been through it. Somebody educate me. There are lawyers, a lot of property lawyers that will help you if you get a chance to talk.
So this is just yes, thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree. Would you support, or do you support, continued city advocacy, public reporting, and intergovernmental or legal action when necessary to ensure Miami Gardens residents are not charged unfair water or sewer rates because their service is provided by another municipality? Yes or no, thumbs up or down? Thank you. Do you support establishing a dedicated and publicly tracked annual funding commitment for drainage and flood prevention improvements in neighborhoods that experience repeated flooding? Yes or no? Do you support data centers being developed in the Miami Gardens community? Would you require any proposed data center to complete a public community impact review before receiving zoning approval, tax incentives, or other city support? Yes or no? I can. Would you require any proposed data center to complete a public community impact review before receiving zoning approval, tax incentives, or other city support? Yes or no? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Right. Correct.
Yes, I would definitely want them to do all that. That's not saying with them, but.
Right. Have you ever been directly responsible for managing public funds? Yes or no? Do you believe residents, businesses, elected officials, and city staff share responsibility for managing and improving the community? Yes or no? So starting with you, candidate Wilson, can you please, if elected, give me just 3 top priorities in your first 100 days in office? You'll have 60 seconds.
So the first thing I would want to do is a comprehensive needs assessment in each community in District 2, right? This is what I do for a living as a professional. We do comprehensive needs assessments from A to Z, looking at systems, looking at bottlenecks, looking at inefficiencies, wasteful spending. So I want to do that in each community from Lake Lucerne to Andover to Coconut Cay, etc. The second thing that I would want to do is take that information and that data and create an action plan, 0 to 90 days for each one of those communities. And I don't like to use the term low-hanging fruit, but there's a lot of things out there that can be fixed immediately that can improve the quality of life. And those are the things that I would truly focus on doing. So because progress is not eating an elephant in one bite. It's the small bites at a time. It's daily progress. It's daily improvement that you can see, that's tangible, and that you can feel and actually touch.
Same question.
The first thing is a traffic feasibility study that I would definitely want to do. Second of all, I would want to work with the PACE community. Currently, we don't have an elderly daycare within the city of Miami Gardens, and because of that, there are a lot of fundings that are out there for the seniors that we are not tapping into, so that would be my second thing. And thirdly is to work with our cultural diversity, like I said, especially within District 2. There's a lot of multicultural communities within District 2 that communication is an issue for them, so I would definitely want to work on improving our communication system with the residents in District 2.
Three things. I agree with Paul. Number one, we do feasibility studies because we realize in my community, every neighborhood is different. I know that that different communities need certain things in the Murphy Grove community. I know that we'll be looking at getting that part online immediately or getting groundbreaking on that. Will be a major thing for us. In other communities, they all have different needs, so that will be the first thing, to make sure we address each community differently to make sure that we are meeting their needs. Secondly, for me, it will be also making the police response time better within the community, so we feel safer within our community. Make sure that we can get our police responding to calls at a much faster rate, and it just add to the quality of life. Those are the two major things that I will bring in our first 100 days. And obviously, like everyone else, is getting out in the community and communicating with our different residents. I can also say, for me, knocking on the doors and just saying what I think, it's also supporting our seniors in another way. Our seniors are, there you go.
Talk about seniors first. Angela.
First, I want to say about budgeting in my district, in C4. I will first look into the budgeting, then I will look into the park at Murray Grove, because we need to open that park right now. And the second thing is to make sure I talk to the resident to see what they want to be done, because I cannot do without what they say. So those are the first 3 things: the budget, how much money is spent in the city of C4, and then the park. The park is one of the major things that we need to open up right now, to fix and make it look beautiful, and what the residents want to be done. So that's what I will do in the next 90 days.
Because city council is the most local and direct way to talk and connect with the residents, I've already heard a lot of their concerns. So I have a whole binder of each street or each resident that I spoke to, and some of the needs were the same. So what I'm gonna be doing is tackling those things that I told them that I would do on this campaign trail, right? So some of them need 4-way stop signs, some of them need speed bumps, some of them need lights. Some of them wanna make sure that the sewage that's in the front of their house when it rains and doesn't flood and go into their homes. So I'm gonna be going around and following up with those residents and making sure that those things are done for them. So that's one thing that I'm gonna do. I'm also gonna be doing some budgetary cuts because there is some high spending in my district, in District 4, and I wanna make sure that money comes back to the residents. As I said before, there's already funds allocated from Formula One and from the stadium that I can put into the residents' pocket. And then another thing, I wanna make sure that families in Miami Gardens are supported. I wanna do a food pantry. And that's one of my goals, is to partner and do a food pantry. I also want to bring back the rest of the advisory board because we have the 2 colleges in C4. So I want to make sure that I have a path line and a way for the young people to have a voice, the ones that I want to see. That's 4 priorities. Thank you.
So in 30 seconds, starting with you, candidate Dare. Yeah. What are 3 words that would describe your management style in 30 seconds?
Leadership, accountability,
Mike.
and results.
Mike.
Direct, accountable, and responsible.
Dignity, love, and showing up.
I'm a transformative leader, so service, evaluation, and results.
Yeah, I'd say relentless, transparent, community focused.
So many times, it's not just those of us who are in the room, but we have huge social media and also media presence here in Miami Gardens that also tell our story unapologetically. So we're gonna hear from 2 of those individuals right now. So Dr. Carla will now have a question from Miami Gardens Living.
Okay, so my question is, if you all could come up. I'm sorry. Okay, so I've heard a lot about the things that you all will do as far as helping out small businesses. But I would like to go back a little further and see if we could set something in place to help Miami Gardens residents start businesses, to fill those gaps from all these different events and things that are going on. So a pipeline where we have technical assistance and everything, starting from helping Miami Gardens residents actually start businesses and help make sure that they get the capacity to be able to get these contracts.
Candidate Mack.
Oh, I'm sorry. So my question is, what can you do to support that or bring that initiative forward?
I agree with that totally. It's absolutely, I feel the same way. So what I would do is I will do more workshops within the community to help entrepreneurs and young people, first with credit repair, and then second, how to incorporate LLCs, incorporate companies, and then help them as far as go through our code and licensing departments. And so just streamline that whole process for them and educate them and bring them through that, and also find funding for young people.
I will make sure bring SBA organization, the SBA funds to the resident, to the small business. I will make sure they know how to with LLC, plus make sure the credit is up. So I will have workshop to make sure everyone get a piece of the pie. Not even that, bring in banks.
That's actually a part of my platform, creating a small business hub. And when I say a small business hub, I'm talking about not only putting an application in and going on SunBiz and registering your business, but also trying to see which entity, if it's going to be a C Corp or an S Corp, and then moving into funding, and then also moving you and partnering. As I said, I'm huge, I'm a teacher, so I'm on mentorship. So I want to also get you mentored with a person that's doing the business in the city that you want to do, so that they can help show you the ropes. Because we know in business, it's not just a book that you open and you read, it's about experience, right? It's about on-the-job training. So that's what I plan. Thank you.
I think it's important to recognize in our city, we have 2 very critical entities already, right? The Oasis at Miami Gardens that does exactly what we're talking about here. Prepping residents to open small businesses from A to Z. It's important to tap into organizations like that and provide funding to open up more space for residents to take advantage of that opportunity. In the second place, we're sitting in it right now, right? The CoSpace is a fantastic place to come and learn how to start your business, because Joy will teach you all of it, for sure.
Yeah, Joy, I'm with you on that. You're gonna work with me a lot on that. But one of the things I've done my research to see if we have a grant writer in the city. And currently, we don't have a grant writer. And because we don't have a grant writer, there's a lot of funding that's out there that we cannot tap in. There's funding on the state level and there's funding on the federal level. And so one of the first things that I would want to do is to meet with people like Joy in these hubs, these small businesses, and work with the city manager to bring in a grant writer, so that person, all they do, their job is to identify something and go after it.
Your host is a grant writer.
You need a staff.
Thank you.
That's a plug.
So candidate Winter, we'll start with you with the next question. It is from Christine from Miami Gardens now.
Give me a second. The thing froze. All right.
Okay, last year, the city of Miami Gardens spent $458,000 on a Juneteenth event in another city in Hallandale Beach, Florida. My thing froze, hold on. All right.
Take your time.
Hold on. All right, nonetheless, okay, there we go. However, the celebration was held outside the city of Miami Gardens and in another county. Do you believe that was an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars? If elected, would you support keeping future Juneteenth celebrations within? How would you manage that as a